welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a very long time, so it's kind of like, girl, what a man. But yeah, so I am back finally. The summer is here, so I have a lot more time to make videos. And this video is not really a beauty or hair video. It is gonna be more informational. We have a lot to unpack in today's video. So on Instagram, I asked some of my followers if they wanted to know how I actually gained 30 pounds over the span of a year. And it was more directed to, you know, girls who aren't comfortable with being really skinny anymore, feel like they're getting older, want to look more their age. If that's you, watch this video. And I'm also going to be talking about a popular phenomenon that's going around called Apetamin and why you should not use it, okay? And I know that's going to be very hard for a lot of people to hear, but I had to come to this realization myself. I did use it at one point, but like I said, I'll get into that more when I do. So I've always been a pretty small girl. I've been skinny my whole life. And I wouldn't say it was really always a problem for me, but it was the thing that I was made fun of for the most. That and my hair, because I used to wear my hair natural all the time. And the bullying about my size really started from as young as elementary school, because I mean, I don't know if that's really a regional thing, but I live in I went to school in Miami at the time, and you know, it's a lot of Black Caribbean people, Latin people who are not Black, things like that. So girls are curvy at young ages, so I wasn't that person. I wore my hair, you know, in braids and twists all the time, so I wasn't really the cute one, which is kind of a crazy standard for people to have in an elementary schooler, but that's what it was. Middle school, same thing, real skinny, didn't have big boobies, didn't have big ass or nothing like that, so boys never really liked me, not even, most of the times the ones that I really liked didn't like me back. So, and I attribute it to being that reason, because that most of the time that's what was said. And of course in high school, boys started to like me a little bit more, but you know, those things follow you, so I was always very insecure about not having a big butt. And you know, my mom, she has a big butt, a lot of the women in my family do, and I just didn't get lucky. So you know, everybody has their issues, and of course I'm thankful that, you know, I have a overall nice body in my eyes. But you know, it's in the music all the time. I don't want no skinny girl, I don't want, you know, things like that. So you know, it gets to you sometimes. That was kind of where me wanting to gain weight started. And especially when I got to college, because one day I had taken some pictures and I looked at the pictures and I looked really, really skinny. Now, even though I had been skinny all my life, my mom is a fitness nut, and she really instilled that into me. So you know, I do have a lot of really good habits, and that was good. And after a while, I realized it might be because of my age. You know, I was really young. I just now turned 21, so I'm still young. And a lot of weight gain comes with age. But of course, you know, at the time, you're not understanding that. It's like, I want a fat ass. Like, I'm not trying to hear that. Before I came to college, I was 110. And then when I got to college, my appetite went down, but it wasn't even so much myself. It was because of the fact that I hated the food. And my mom is a really health nut, and my father, he cooks every single night for us to have dinner. So I would have dinner, home cooked dinner every night, something nice and healthy, but really flavorful, really good. Caribbean food, Jamaican food, whatever it might be, Panamanian food, plantain, all that. And then I would have homemade, you know, whatever with the leftovers, I would take that to lunch the next day. So I always had something good to eat. And, you know, I've always liked to eat. So that's one thing I want you to remember as we go through this portion of it. I don't have an issue eating. That was never the issue. I'm always hungry. I'm always eating. And I like a lot of things. I'm not a picky eater, but I just have a really fast metabolism. Hence why it's hard for me to gain a significant amount of weight up until now, really. So when I got to college, of course, the food is nothing like at home, and especially I'm in Tallahassee, so there's not a lot of Caribbean food. We don't eat pork. They were always serving pork. I'm not going to eat that. And then, of course, you know, the food that they did have that I would like and would taste somewhat decent was French fries. So I was basically eating French fries almost every day, right? So, of course, I lost a lot of weight. And then I did get a little homesick, but I really don't think that's why I lost weight. But, you know, you're just not doing things you usually do. You know, you're kind of out of whack. you know, when you're at home with your parents, you might have a routine of how things go, especially when it comes to dinner time, because, you know, it's your parents, it's their house, they take care of that, you know, they get the groceries, they're like, okay, it's dinner time. I mean, I know that's not for everybody, but we always ate dinner together, so everything was really structured. And then when I got out here, it was kind of, you know, just left up to me. I didn't notice it at first, but of course then I went home and everybody was like, oh, you look so skinny. You know, the first thing my dad said when I walked in was, you look scrawny. And I was like, damn, how much skinnier can I get? I didn't think I could get any skinnier. But at that point, I was like, okay, I gotta do something because I don't want to look sick. So I, you know, started doing research because, like I said, I had always been working out. So people telling me, oh, you gotta work out, you gotta eat. I already do those things, and I'm still skinny. So you're not telling me anything, okay? Like I worked out when I was in high school. I would say I worked out pretty much up to like 4 times a week, but now I would say I work out 2 to 3 times a week. I need to do more, but you know, I'm just a little bit more busier now. Those were the main things that people were said to do, but those things were not working fast enough for me anyway. And of course, I had just started dating my boyfriend, and he's a little older than me, so I really wanted to gain weight as well because, you know, I wanted to feel like a woman. And I felt like I looked like a little girl. You know, I was really skinny. I didn't like. I mean, I always had boobs, but you know, they were obviously a little smaller. And of course, I'm gonna add pictures like before and after pictures throughout the video. I know y'all want to see it. I know you want to see the booty, so don't worry, that's coming too. And I'm gonna do like a modeling or whatever. So I have did some research and I found out about Apetamin via Instagram. I think it was. I don't know if I saw it on Instagram first or I found it on the internet. Well, actually, I'm lying. I found it via YouTube because I was like how to gain weight quicker on YouTube. And Apetamin was like, you know, all down the list. So, you know, of course, everybody's ranting and raving about Apetamin. Everybody has good things to say about it. You know, they say they got the weight. You know, nobody says anything bad about it because in essence, it doesn't really do anything bad. It does what it says it's going to do. It's going to make you fat, right? So, you know, that's what I wanted. So I was like, all right, shoot, let me go get it. And one bottle costs about $24 to $26 depending on what vendor you get it from. And yeah, they sell it pretty much all over the internet. I don't know if you can get it in store. I've never seen it in the store, but it's all over the internet. Like 1,010,000 people sell it. You know, it's like weed. You can get it anywhere. Okay, the one I got was $24. I remember that specifically. And unfortunately, I don't have the bottle with me right now. I wish I had had it so I could show you guys and like have some definitive proof for you to see what I'm about to talk about. But I do not because I have decided I'm not about to purchase that again. The bottle's about like this big. I'll say like when you see it on Instagram, it does look a lot bigger, but when you get it, you're gonna be like, what the hell, right? So I got it, and you know the main symptoms that I had felt were, you know, being sleepy, but at the same time I can't really tell you if it really was that made me sleepy because I'm always sleepy anyway. Like, you know, if anybody knows me, they know I sleep a lot. And I will say that I did gain more weight when I got home and I had ordered that from school, but it wasn't. I feel like I was gonna gain that weight anyway just from being home because the food that I like to eat was there, so I was gonna eat a lot more anyway. And you know, a lot of the girls that reported, you know, like that the reviews that I watched, they reported, you know, having this rapid burst of an appetite. You know, they always wanted to eat. They were always hungry, and I honestly did not feel much of a difference in my appetite because, like I said before, I never really had a problem eating. I could eat. So when I was taking it, I honestly didn't feel any more hungrier than I usually would. So I found myself trying to like eat more to help the Apetamin out to like, you know, do what I wanted it to do. So that's when I kind of realized, at that point when I realized, okay, I'm kind of forcing myself to eat more just because I want this to work and I really don't feel like it's making me any hungrier than I usually be, was when I decided, okay, I'm gonna finish this batch and I'm not gonna buy anymore because it really wasn't worth it for me. From the reviews that I saw and the young women that ask about it and hear about it, obviously I don't know everybody's situation personally, but they seem to want it just to gain extra weight, and it doesn't seem that they necessarily have eating issues. So that brings me to the next part of it. Apetamin is marketed as it is, like as if it's just something that anybody could pick up if you just want to gain weight. That's not the case. This is another reason why I decided I wasn't going to buy it again. So with that, even though they act like, it's just for anybody and everybody, it's really not. And which is the really bold part of it to me. Is so funny because you get the bottle and it literally says right on the bottom. I had to write it down because, like I said, I don't have the bottle with me, but I'm going to put a picture of it up here that I found online. I had to write my little notes. So it says right on the package, it says, caution, it is dangerous to take this preparation except under medical supervision. So what does that mean? That means that this is something that has to be prescribed to you. So these Instagram boutique, I don't want to call it a boutique because whatever you want to call it, these Instagram pages that sell it to people are marketing it as something that can be used by anyone, like basically like a supplement you could buy at CVS in the you call that stuff, protein powder. That's how they're marketing it as, and that is extremely unhonest because clearly that's not the case, because the manufacturer has it on the bottle saying that it is dangerous to take this preparation except under medical supervision, aka you need a prescription. This needs to be prescribed to you. I saw that and I was like, ooh, I mean, I know for a fact that I don't have an eating disorder, or that if I was to go to the doctor, he would recommend this for me. So I did not feel comfortable using it anymore because of the fact that it's just not good to use medicine if you don't need it, because there's your body processes are working correctly. So adding this extra component might interrupt something in order to do its job, but because the fact that you don't need it, things aren't lined up in your body. I don't know if I'm making sense, but things aren't lined up in your body to accept this extra supplement. So with that being said, I wanted to go into a little bit more detail about why you should not use Apetamin, and then we'll continue on until to how I gained the 30 pounds without a supplement. I did this research today, so I'm just now finding these things out as well, other than what I just came to the conclusion from reading the bottle. The first website that I got it from is not like it was like a blog or something, which you could take it with a grain of salt, but I feel like the reason why I couldn't find any like real medical pages that had anything on it is because Apetamin is not FDA approved in the United States, and that's a big red flag. Not saying that our government is the pinnacle of what is good and what's not good, but I feel like it says a lot, considering everything I just said, that it's not being marketed as something that's for people with a sickness, and it's being marketed like you could just use it for cosmetic purposes, and the fact that the people who sell it are so bold or just so not there that they're going to give you the bottle with the caution label on it that explicitly says you should not be taking this if you're not under medical supervision. So it kind of makes a lot of sense. It makes it seem really shady, and it really makes you feel like, okay, you really shouldn't be taking this. Legit Script says Apetamin has not been FDA approved. It contains cyproheptadine, I think I'm saying that correctly, which is an active pharmaceutical. Treatment available only in prescription drugs. So that's what the cyproheptadine is. Cyproheptadine. I'm going to repeat it again. It's a pharmaceutical treatment that is only available in prescription drugs. So that reiterates what I said. This is something that you need to be prescribed to be using. And then a little bit more information on what cyproheptadine does. It's an antihistamine used to relieve allergy symptoms. The side effects are increased appetite, which hence is why people want to use it to gain weight. And it is used as a treatment for anorexia, cachexia, and severe malnutrition. I'm not sure what cachexia is, but it's obviously probably an eating disorder or something like that. And severe malnutrition, that's something very serious and dire. Like I know usually if you don't know what that is, obviously you can look it up, but you've probably seen it. It's a lot of times in those commercials where they're asking for you to donate, and they have like little children with a very large stomach, and their arms and their legs are like almost bone thin. That's severe malnutrition, and I don't think any girl that is using this is malnutritioned. So you might not have a huge appetite, but I really don't feel like that's the same thing as being anorexic, cachexic, whatever that is, or having severe malnutrition. Another website that I found called yafence.com. They listed the Apetamin syrup uses, These are the true uses for it, you know, not what Instagram says to use it for. It's a treatment, control, and prevention of the following diseases: loss of appetite, allergic conjunctivitis due to inhalant allergens and food, allergies, cold urticaria, I don't know what that is, perennial and seasonal allergic rhinitis. Um, I feel like that. I mean, I think that's just like sinuses and stuff. Because rhinitis, I know that might has something to do with your nose. Vasomotor rhinitis. I'm assuming it's along the same lines as that. Dermatographism. Don't know what that is either, but it sounds like it's something with your skin. And allergic reactions to blood or plasma. So I feel like that's pretty interesting because the things that it treats are pretty serious, you know. So it's almost like you're drinking cold medicine, and you know, last time I checked, you can get addicted to that, and that's not good for you, especially if you're not sick, you know. And I did a little bit more research on cyproheptadine. So this is how it works. It works by blocking a certain natural substance called a histamine, hence the antihistamine, that your body makes during an allergic reaction. Also blocks other natural substances like serotonin that your body produces. And serotonin is a neurotransmitter that is associated with feelings of well-being and happiness. And then it said some more stuff about how its real biological reason is a little bit more complex, and it kind of goes down to your brain functioning, which that's kind of scary to me. So it blocks your serotonin, and I feel like, you know, I'm not a doctor, so, you know, if you correct me if I'm wrong, but, you know, if I can make these inferences and see the connection, I feel like it's kind of very irresponsible of the people who sell it to not, you know, at least inform the people, or at least not market it in a way to make it like a fad, you know, like a weight gain fad. It's a lot to unpack here, and I don't want to make the video too long, but that just goes into how people prey, you know, society preys on other people's insecurities. And, you know, I fell for it at the time because I was very desperate, and, you know, I'm happy where I'm at now, and, you know, it's not like I'm super duper thick or anything. I'm still pretty skinny. My ass is pretty much the same size, just a little bit more poked out, but it's not worth it. And, you know, luckily I was smart enough to like quit after the first bottle, but, and I'm sure that after people see this video, they're gonna be like, girl, you, I'm gonna do this, I want to be thick, I don't care what you got to say, and that's fine. But I just hope you're not gonna be the exception. Not, I mean, I hope you're the exception of something bad happening from taking this drug if you really don't need it. So that's what I found about Apetamin, and you know, do what you will with that information, but I really believe that if you know for a fact, like, be honest with yourself. If you know for a fact that you do not have an eating disorder, you just have you maybe you're a picky eater, or maybe you're just naturally thin, it's not worth it. And I'm gonna tell you how to get thick without it. Okay. So put that Apetamin down, put it under your counter, return it if you can. I don't know. If you bought it, tell them you don't want it no more, because it's not for you. It's not for you, sis. It's for people who are struggling with anorexia, cachexia. I feel like I should look that up. And malnutrition, okay? Or somebody with allergies, apparently. This is basically cold medicine. It's basically cold medicine. So everybody's drinking lean. You know, I can't really call out a specific page who markets this because there's literally a million pages who market this. But, you know, you guys really just need to be smart and do your research and know what you're putting into your body, you know? And it's like the same thing with a lot of Instagram fads, like waist training and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not going to go into that because I've never used a waist trainer, so I don't want to speak on things I've never done. But, I mean, has anybody researched how healthy that really is to be wearing a corset all damn day? I'm just trying to spread the word, y'all. So send this to your homegirls who's trying to get thick, okay? I'm going to tell you how, and you don't have to spend $24 a bottle to use it. Okay, oh, and that's the other thing. The Apetamin is really not what you think, because, you know, you think you're going to get one bottle and you're going to be thick already. You have to get multiple bottles. And if you're a college student like me, or just somebody who isn't into spending money like that, I really don't feel like it's that great an investment, because it's $24 a bottle, and it lasts you, like, I want to say a little less than a week. I really want to say that, like, if you do the dosage, but I took it such a while ago, so I'm not, don't quote me on that, but it takes you about, if not a little less than a week, it takes you up a week like a week to 5 days, like not even 7 days to finish the bottle. So you're gonna have to be buying it like this. How did I gain 30 pounds? So you know what they say. It's that relationship way. No, I'm just kidding. But I feel like my relationship did help a little bit for me to gain weight, but not in the way that you're thinking, okay? Stop being nasty. Like I said, I had always eaten a lot. And when I came out here to college, you know, I didn't like the food. Of course, I didn't have a whole bunch of money, so, and I had a meal plan, so I was eating on campus. When I met my boyfriend, of course, you know, he started taking me out. We would eat out, eat real good. So I was back basically on my track of eating how I used to eat. Not exactly the same, a little bit more fatty, you know, more fast food and things like that. But I could see that I was gaining weight. And of course, you know, being happy, things like that. I don't know if that really, you know, keeps weight on you being happy per se, but, you know, like, you know, directly, but indirectly, obviously it might. And then, like I said as well, I'd always been into working out, but I did stop for a little bit. So when the weight started coming on at first, it really was, you know, in my stomach, and you know my boobs were getting really big, and I could see that, but it wasn't really going to my butt like how I wanted it to, and that was disappointing. So of course I started working out. I know what you're thinking. I don't want to work out. I don't want to hear that. But you're gonna have to, huh? Because otherwise, you're gonna look like you malnutritioned, okay? With a big old belly and skinny arms and skinny legs, okay? So I really had to dedicate myself, and I started working out, but I didn't do it every single day. So I realized because I have such a high metabolism, I'm gonna have to do something a little bit more strategic. So instead of doing a lot of cardio like I used to do, you know, that includes running, um, dancing, whatever, anything that's kind of you just moving around and not necessarily like lifting weights or doing strength is considered a cardio. So I kind of toned down on the cardio. I would do maybe, instead of doing like my whole workout based on cardio, I'll probably do 20 to 30 minutes of cardio, like um, either a light jog outside, get on the treadmill, the elliptical, anything like that. I'll do that. And then after that, straight strength building. That means weightlifting, use the machine. You don't necessarily have to use weights, but you know, just like, you know, the strength movements, you know, squats, leg lifts, you know, whatever you can think of. I'm not like, you know, I don't want this video to be too long, but I'm just gonna give you the gist of what I did. The type of food that I was eating. At first, like I said, it was a lot of fast food and things of that sort, but later down the line, I started, you know, more with chicken, rice, things of that sort. I always have a vegetable. I always have a vegetable of some sort. I would always have, and I never eat white rice. I always eat brown rice. So, you know, I wasn't necessarily super healthy, but I made conscious choices of things that I would like. I will always include the vegetables, some grain, and you know, of course, a healthy meat. I don't eat pork, and I feel like you shouldn't eat pork either, but I know people gonna fight me on that. But you know, that's a very fatty substance. I rarely eat beef, mostly chicken, but I do eat beef as well. For things like tacos and that sort, it's turkey, hon. And I know a lot of people don't like it, but I mean, if you want the body, you gotta do something you don't like. For breakfast, I always have a fruit. For a long time, I was doing smoothies every morning. No sugar. If I do put sugar, brown sugar or raw honey. Almond milk, no real milk. And then, of course, I was still eating dessert and things like that. So basically, I was just having a balanced diet like I usually do, you know, and just taking out certain things that I know would be added fat and added carbs to my diet that I don't really need. Like I said, like white rice, white bread, things of that sort. You can cut those out. You need to cut those out if you want to, like, get there, but not necessarily go over the edge. Because I noticed a lot of girls that I knew who might have been skinny, they start gaining weight, but it's all right here. And, you know, of course, they don't like it because they just look bad. After a while, that was working for me, but I realized with the fact that I kind of took down my workout regimen, I was holding on to the weight a little bit more than I really wanted to, especially in the stomach area. I'm not super curvy, so you know it would probably look cuter on somebody who had more curves in the waist and things like that. But I'm a little bit more straight, so I really didn't like that for me because I don't want to look like a refrigerator. But I started noticing that I bumped up my regimen a notch a little bit and included more cardio now this time, but even more strength and more food. So it's really just more exercise, more food, but the right types of food. And I still ate dessert, but it would only be once a night. And that was because I just can't not with my dessert. I still kind of do it now, but it's a little bit more far and few between as far as having dessert at night. And I'll go to a yogurt or something, or just a few scoops of ice cream and like some nuts or something like that. Now, this is what helped me to get where I'm at now. Now I'm back to working out 2 to 3 times a week. Um, Still mostly strength, a little bit of cardio, and I do a lot of legs. Right now my legs are probably like my favorite part of my body. So my boyfriend, he started doing the keto diet because he's trying to lose weight actually, and I just decided to do it with him because I mean, we eat together all the time, so it's gonna be kind of hard to like do 2 different diets when we usually shop together and eat together. So I just decided to do it with him. If you don't know what the keto diet is, the keto diet is basically a no carb diet, and you do mostly meat and vegetables and whatever else. Carbs include bread, pasta, rice, anything of that sort, tortillas, whatever, right? Which is hard because I really like bread and especially I love pasta. And the diet does include a lot of cheese, but it was really fun. It is really fun. We're still doing it, and you find a lot of cool recipes and things like that. So this diet, I really liked it because you still get the protein and everything. And I'm not ready to go vegan or anything like that, so don't even come at me with that. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing with that now, and I really see a big difference in my stomach because I'm never ever bloated anymore other than on my period. So we'll eat, I feel full, I feel good, but I'm not bloated, and the next morning my stomach is still pretty flat. And I can still see that I'm still maintaining my weight. I'm still getting stronger. I'm still, getting more toned, but I'm still gaining, what I want at the same time. But it's not to the point where it's like overwhelming, and I'm still kind of like in the same shape. Another thing to consider is when you're going through a weight gain journey is to look at your body. You're not magically gonna get hips and a super snatch waist, and you're not magically gonna get this not even Kim Kardashian because her booty nasty, but you know what I mean. You're not magically gonna get this like huge badonkadonk. Like, it's not gonna work like that. It's more gonna be your body shape how it is now, just a little bit bigger. Because when I do the comparison pictures that I put here, you can see that it's the same body. It's just bigger and more sculpted and toned, and that's because I had always been working out. So if you're somebody who hasn't really been working out, it might take a little bit more for you to see the results, but my body's trained, and when I work out, it's kind of like, oh, we're back on it. So if you don't really work out, keep that in mind. It might take a little longer to see some results or see some definition and some toning, but you got to keep going. Can't give up. And if you do take a break, don't take a break for more than a day, because trust me, you're not going to feel like going back to the gym. Get you a partner, because that'll help. Another thing you can look at is, look at your mom or other women in your family, and that can kind of give you an idea of where the weight might go first. Like I said, my boobs got really big and my midsection got really big. My mom and I kind of have the same midsection kind of area. She has struggles with getting that really flat, so I kind of see that that's happening with me as well. A lot of my aunts have really big tits, so I see where that's coming in as well. My boobs got a lot bigger. And then I kind of take after my dad's side with like from my leg area down, and they don't really have huge butts, so my butt's really not that big either. And it kind of stayed the same shape per se, but just a little bit more poked out. I'm gonna show y'all, whatever. We're gonna get to that part. Oh yeah, and then also too, when you don't really pay attention to it, it does come a lot faster, because honestly, like, one day I just got on the scale and I was like, wow, I'm 140. And the last time I had checked, I was 110. So yeah, oh yeah, I forgot to say that. I'm so all over the place. I'm sorry, y'all. But yeah, when I say the 110, I actually got to the 110 after coming back from Miami that one time when I ordered the Apetamin. But like I said, I really don't attribute it to the Apetamin. It might have helped a little tiny bit, but like I said, if I was really being honest, I didn't eat no more than I usually would have ate at home. So it was just the fact that, this was the food that I liked to eat, and it was good to me, and I could eat it, and want more and want seconds and things of that nature. Well, let me just go a rundown just to make sure I covered everything. My first step was increasing my food intake, eating more on a regular basis, eating on like, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Then my next step was working out more, doing and changing from cardio to more strength building because of the body type that I have. Had I been trying to lose weight, I would do more cardio. But since you're trying to gain weight, you don't want to do the cardio. You don't want to do the cardio as much as you want to do the strength building, because that's building your muscle mass, and that's going to give you that bigger look. Cardio is going to slim you down even more. So if you're already slim like me, you have a fast metabolism, you don't want to do too much of that. Next step I did was doing the keto diet, taking out carbs from my diet to get my stomach back low, and getting the weight to go where I want to. Still doing a lot of strength building, working out 2 to 3 times a week whenever I can. Just be patient and don't worry about it too much. If you worry about it, you're going to be frustrated. The weight will come and you're going to be so surprised. You're going to step on the scale one day and be like, oh shit, I'm big. I would say right now, since I've gained the weight, my favorite part of my body right now is like my legs. I don't know, I really like the way they look. Of course I love my boobs. I wish my butt was a little bigger still, but I'm trying to get over that and just be happy with what I have, because everybody can't have everything, and somebody else might be begging for my body and I'm begging for theirs. So I'm just trying to get over that part. So everything's not gonna be perfect, and you might not look how you expect to look, but it's all about learning to love your body. And that's kind of why too, the whole Apetamin thing is a little upsetting, because it's like y'all are really preying on people's insecurities. And but it's a phenomenon. There's a market for everybody. The bigger women, or people who feel like they don't have a snatched waist or whatever, they invest into the waist trainers and things of the sort, even though it might not even really be doing or is good for them. And whatever else us women and men do to get the perfect body. Yeah, I feel like that's all I have to say. If there's any more questions, please leave them in the comments. I feel like I'm missing some things, but if that's the case, I can do an update video on it. I haven't been in the groove of making videos in a while, so I'm a little rusty. So let me show you guys where I'm at, what I look like now. So you see, I'm just at my house, so I know this is a weird outfit, but this is my stomach. I worked out earlier today. I didn't eat a whole lot. I didn't weigh myself right now, but usually in the mornings I'm about 138.9 or 139-ish and 137. So I get around those 3 things, depending on like how much I ate the night before. Did I have a big breakfast the next day? And then by the end of the day, I'm 140 on the dot. So yeah, this is how I look. I want to see the booty. Let's do it here. Okay. This is my butt. So it's not really all that big, but it's bigger than it was before. My thighs are definitely bigger. And yeah. I'm relatively, like, my proportions are relatively the same, is really what I'm trying to get at, but just a little bigger. So don't expect to be all like out to here, and because it's not gonna happen. Okay, if you are not in shape like that, it's not gonna happen, sis. And I just had to come to that realization, and I'm really, really happy with where I'm at right now. So yeah, I'm gonna try to stay this way, and I'll do some updates. And don't forget to let me know if you guys need more information, because if it comes down to it and it's like a lot of questions, I might just make a whole new video and like answer those questions about that stuff. So yeah, see you guys in my next video. But I know y'all gonna want a hair video, because I know I've been gone for a while and I come back and my afro is like this. Shit poppin'.